This is a great lecture video because we get to talk about Neanderthals. Not every day you get to discuss this really interesting topic. We'll talk about Neanderthals, talk about their geographic and temporal distribution, some of the things we notice in their cranium and their body form, and the tools they were using, which most popular, they're most familiar with, I guess, Mousterian tools. So Neanderthals, Homo neanderthalensis, um, right? You can use Neanderthal or Neanderthals. It all depends whether you're using pronouncing it in German or in English. It was described in the 1860s by Fulhoff and Schaffhausen. You can find this material in Europe and parts of the Middle East. You don't find this material in parts of Africa or in Asia. The temporal range is about 150,000 years to about 27,000 years ago. As mentioned in the first part of this module, Heidelbergensis in Europe has the traits that connect them to Neanderthals in parts of Europe. And so the Mauer mandible is connected to material in Greece and in parts of Spain. Here is the geographic distribution of Neanderthals. We find them only in parts of Europe, as well as parts of the Middle East and Near East or West Asia. And we have some that now we have also discovered in parts of Siberia. Something important to note about Neanderthals, we have a lot of their skeletons. I think we have about 200 or so individuals because they buried their dead. We have a number of cemeteries in Israel as well as parts of Iraq where there are plots of graves. And when you think about this, Neanderthals were burying their dead in a way that you can predict where their graves are. And what does this tell us about Neanderthals? That maybe they had good hygiene, or maybe they believed in some type of afterlife. When you look at the cranial features of Neanderthals, they have a brow ridge that kind of comes to a point. They have this jutting out of the midface by the nasal aperture. They have an extension in the back of their skull known as an occipital bun, where you have more of a protrusion of bone. And they have a cranial capacity of 1,500 cc's on average, maybe 1,580. This means that Neanderthals on average have larger cranial capacities than us, right? Homo sapiens. When you look at the body form of Neanderthals in comparison to us, right? If you look at this image, we got a composite skeleton of Neanderthals on the left, and then Homo sapiens on the right. You can see what we are an elongated chest and body form. Neanderthals are more of a short and stocky body form. That's because it looks like they were adapted to cold weather climates. When we look at Neanderthals and even maybe Heidelbergensis, they kind of look like cold weather adaptive human-like thing. And anatomically modern Homo sapiens, us, we evolved in Africa, and it looks like we are a more temperate body form that humans and human-like things will be able to adapt to. If you look at animals, in more northerly latitudes, they typically have larger body size and shorter limb length, and that is to be able to retain heat towards the core. If you look at an animal on the left, like a desert rabbit, they have longer limbs, smaller body size. You can see even the ears are very long. This is because you want to whisk away heat. The last part I want to talk about are the tools that Neanderthals are most notable for, and those are Mousterian tools. They were described in France at a site called Les Moustiers. That's why they're named that. But they're notable for using the Levallois technique, right? Prefabricated stone points on a core platform. But then what they did is they took those points and they made serrated edges or denticulates, right? And this is because they likely were hunting large game animals. That's what most of the evidence from what they ate tells us. And so they needed very long as well as serrated sharp edges in order to pierce the hides of those very large game animals.